The most tangible modicum of power that all of us possess is our vote. Not our vote in a democracy, but our vote in the free market. The dollar we wield is the most important tool we have to shape the world in the way we see fit. The time is nigh that we, the people of Call of Duty, stand against the deplorable business practice of microtransactions in Call of Duty. It is one baby step in front of an outright scam. It serves as a systematic milking of a fan base, a disrespectful slap in the face to the customers. But the customers often do not care, because let's be honest, it's our parents' credit cards that's entered on our fucking Xbox Live account, and you never have to re-enter it, which is a work of genius on the part of Microsoft. I'm assuming it's the same way on PlayStation. Because motherfuckers know their customers will spend single digits worth of dollars on pieces of camo because their parents will never know the difference when it's taken directly off their credit card. Your parents aren't going to check that bank account after a day's worth of spending and notice an extra $3 is missing, what with sales tax, all the monthly subscriptions to newspapers they don't read, and interest on their massive and emotionally crippling amounts of house, car, and student loan debt. And so we buy into the most useless purchase ever promulgated on mankind. Because why the hell not? The marketeers that Activision probably holds in higher esteem than the game developers themselves. They have a term for the way we buy into microtransactions. It's called impulse buying. They know people do it with apps too, and let me briefly point out to you that for the money spent on a new gun camo and reticle, you could have gotten a really neat app of some kind, a whole new game on your phone, potentially hours worth of playtime if it's something as cool as Doodle Jump. Impulse buying is something people do when they find themselves the digital equivalent of the dollar store. Everything is so cheap, we cannot help but ask ourselves, why the fuck not? It's the same kind of gullibility that makes $199 look infinitely cheaper than $200. They laugh at us while we buy this shit. But the catch is, by the time you've impulse bought all the camo packs, you've spent like another $30 to $40 on this game for useless shit in a universe you won't even interact with 6 months down the road. Now, full disclosure, and as you might have already noticed, I bought some of the microtransactions available. I did not buy the custom skins because that's beyond fucking stupid. Think about this for a second. You buy a customizable skin, congrats, your character looks like Makarov. You never get to see yourself in this game except for that brief half second in between death and the kill cam where you see your guy start to tip over before he dies, you know what I mean? So you never will know the difference when you have one of those skins on. Other people will. So when you spend that money, it only serves to add a pathetic level of diversity to my gameplay experience. But here's the thing, I don't even give a fuck. You're spending money that you get nothing out of to please me, and I don't even care. But I did buy the camos and the reticles, though I would argue I have justifiable cause. You know, I'm trying to diversify my clips on YouTube. In a game with such incredibly monotonous gameplay, I find whatever way I can to bring something new and fresh to the video. For my $3, I get to show off the camo to the roughly 1,000 people who tune in for every video. And it's worth mentioning I never bought any of that shit back in Black Ops 2 when there wasn't anyone to showcase the camo to, and I actually didn't sour on the idea of microtransactions until I had actually bought into them and realized just how silly it all was. This channel is an exhibition. I want to showcase the game in its entirety. I want to show people things in-game they have yet to witness themselves. Diversity is always key to success. Never forget that. But the average player is not going to have their purchased camo witnessed by anyone other than themselves. Motherfuckers don't go checking out your gun camo before they kill you. I was hoping to elicit perhaps some chuckles at my rubber ducky reticle flame camo guns. Now maybe this isn't an acceptable rationalization to many of you, and I understand it was a desperate ploy that my creative side sought because I've stopped having fun watching my own Ghosts gameplay. And my strategy with these videos is, if it's fun for me to watch, it's probably fun for you to watch. However, this is not to say that I disparage individuals who strive for new camos, who like to get new camos and, you know, whatever other minor little neat things there are to be had. I'm sure if we all went back through our gaming history, we could find something sillier that we've spent more time trying to unlock. But that's the other thing. These camos should be included as unlocks. Give us something to work for and feel accomplished about. Something more than the cheap rush we feel spending our parents' money without them knowing. The truth is, I wish I could get a refund on some of these camos I bought because the flame camo, for instance, looks like shit and is barely recognizable. It just looks dark and shitty and hardly stands out from the other camos. I feel that way about many of the camos, the ones I had to pay $1 for anyways. The larger point I'm trying to make here is that the amount of microtransaction spam that has taken place on Ghosts is unacceptable. Customization packs of the camos, skins, reticles, and Snoop Dogg's bitch ass should all be included in the 4 DLC packs that Call of Duty releases every year. They should be included in the season pass. By the way, am I the only one who noticed that Snoop Dogg gave up on Snoop Lion? He really tried to make it happen, but I guess it just wasn't fetch enough to catch on, you know? I call on Activision to respect the Call of Duty fanbase for once, and I stand here now with the power vested in me by the likes on this video to call on the Call of Duty community to hold together arm in arm in protest of the disgraceful, sleazy, used car salesman tactics that have so far been pushed on we the people. Vote no on worthless microtransactions in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Withhold your dollar. Let us rise above the filth of consumer-targeted and quant-powered sales. These camos and skins are just a simplistic and super cost-effective way for the publisher to raise extra profits so they can take the stockholders' dicks out of their mouths briefly, to mention they hit their Q1 sales targets this quarter. It takes very little effort, skill, or time to produce these pathetic camos and reticles that generally don't even look that spectacular. Anyone with basic Photoshop skills could produce these camos on an amateur program in a couple of minutes. Same goes for the reticles and the player skins and whatever else. The cost of production is virtually zero. Now they put them on the market and each pack raises a hefty sum of money. I can tell just by playing the game and seeing motherfuckers running around with all their bullshit and festive camo riot shields that a big chunk of the fan base buys every single pack. Even Ghosts, which did not sell that well at all, still has 15 million copies out there in circulation. It's easy to imagine that there are at least hundreds of thousands of players who dish out the couple dollars for these microtransactions every time a new one comes out, and because they cost nothing to produce, Activision basically gets to raise, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time, because even if only 100,000 players, which is less than 0.01 of their fan base, buys this stuff, they walk away with $300,000. But it's probably a lot more than that. I bet you they're pumping out millions from this bullshit. And the reason I feel strongly that we must protest this is that because they can use this cheap tactic to boost profits endlessly and painlessly, they don't have to focus on making the game better. They don't have to focus on earning new customers or retaining current customers. They can just spam microtransactions and still hit their sales target goals. Ghosts has released a massive amount of these personalization packs, more so than any game before it, and I think that's because they're trying to compensate for how bad the game sales were. And they're succeeding, and what that means is that at the end of the day, everyone on the business and production side of Call of Duty will consider Ghosts a success. They can artificially inflate the profits of the game with these microtransactions, and therefore, they do not have to focus on the actual quality of the game, or in regards to Ghosts, the extreme lack of quality and the numerous shortcomings and flaws this game has been played with from day one. Microtransactions are the business equivalent of boosting in-game. Boosting your KD, boosting to rank up faster, whatever. That's what microtransactions are in the business world. It's fucking cheating. And when cheating is as successful as these microtransactions have been, it is an extreme disincentive to whoever's involved to actually build a better game. And that's something I hope you will all keep in mind when they start trying to shove this shit down our throats in Advanced Warfare. Please thumbs up the video if you support the cause. This is Batman signing out! Woo!